In today's video, we'll be looking at the graph of linear inequalities in two variables. Okay, just like for the last class we looked at solving linear inequalities in two variables. How do we then draw the graph? Now we call it the graph because it involves two variables relatively. For the first one, is just a variable, which is the independent variable x. That's why we're drawing number line. Now, how do we draw the graph of this ones which solved last? Now, for our first question, we have what? Our x to be what? X to be 3 and y to be what? 2. Now, if our x is 3 and y is 2, it means you should draw a graph such that what? X is what? 3. So I can have 1, 2, 3, and y is what? 2. Positive. This is 1, this is what? 2. This is my positive y, this is my negative y, this is my negative x, this is my positive what? X. Now, if x is 3 and y is 2, it means these are the points that I'm talking about. So what I'll just do is what? Just draw something like this. Now, let's look at the question. For us to shade, we have to shade in this graph. Now, we have 2x plus 3y less than 6. There are things we need to know also in this case, which I'm going to correct very soon now. 2x plus 3y is less than 6. Is strictly less than. It means for graph under linear inequalities of two variables, for strictly less than, my graph will be a dotted graph. For less than or equals to, this is less than or equals to, it will be a straight line graph. It will be all through. It's not going to be dotted. That's the difference. So for less than or greater than, I'll have something like this, a dotted graph. For less than or equals to or greater than or equals to, I'm going to have what? A straight line. That is, it's going to be throughout. So it means there is a mistake in this question then. So this representation is what? Wrong. Now, how do I represent it perfectly well? It means I'm going to have it like what? I'm going to have it like this. I'm going to have it like what? This. Just make sure your graph is straight. Now, for shading now, they said we're given this linear equation. How will you know where to shade when it comes to linear inequalities of two variables? You'll know where to shade by making your y subject to formula. How do I mean? Making your y in the form what? Y equals what? Mx plus c, which represents what? The general representation of a linear equation. So let's make that linear equation like that. We have 2x plus 3y less than 6. That becomes what? 2x plus 3y less than 6. In this place, I have what? 3y to be less than what? 6 minus 2x. It means my y is less than what? 6 over 3 minus 2x over 3. Dividing all through by what? By 3. So it means my inequality sign is still what? Is still less than in this question. From the beginning, it was less than. When I made y subject to formula, it is still what? Less than. So, and my less than is at this side. So I'm going to what? Shade here. I'm going to what? Shade here. That is all. Number 2, my x is minus 4. My y is what? Plus 3. My x is minus 4. My y is what? Plus 3. Let's see. This becomes what? This is my positive x. Remember, this is my negative x. This is my positive y. My negative what? Y. X is minus 4. And y is what? Y is plus 3. So this becomes what? Let's say this is my minus 4. And my y is plus what? Plus 3. So let's put 3 at this point. Now, let's look at the inequality sign. It is or equal to bar or equal to. So I can draw it through. I can draw it through like this. Don't mind man, it's not straight relatively. So I can draw it through like this. Now, where will I shade in this question? Now let's make y equal to formula again as we did in number 1 question. What is the question? We have minus 3x plus 4y greater than or equals to what? 12. Minus 3x plus 4y is greater than or equals to what? 12. Leaving my y here becomes what? 4y greater than or equals to what? 12 plus what? 3x. Now in this case, what do I have? This becomes what? Y to be greater than or equals to 12 over 4 plus what? 3x all over what? 4. Which means that what? The sign is still what? Is still also the same thing. Now you must confirm with this. Don't just assume that since it is greater than here, then in my solution, that is where to shade on the graph, must be greater also. If this is greater than, it means I'm going to have it as well shaded at this side. This is my greater than. Why? Because it's increasing to the right. It's increasing to the right. Then number 3 question, what do I have? I have this, which I reduced to 15x plus 5y to be greater than what? Minus 25. Now again, this is a strict inequality sign, greater than, strictly greater than. What are my answers? My answers are what? X is what? Minus 5 over 3. Y is what? Minus 5. So they are both on the negative. So if x is minus 5 over 3, minus 5 over 3 is the same thing as minus 1 point something. So let's say this is minus 1, this is minus 2 on my graph. Minus x plus x minus y plus what? Plus y. Now minus 5 over 3 will be around this point. This is around this point. Then minus 5 for y, let's say it's going to be around where? Here. So if this is minus 5 and this is minus 5 over 3, I'm going to have a dotted linear graph. So I'm going to have something like this. I'm going to have something like this. Now, from the question, my inequality sign is what? Greater than. Let's look at what I'm going to get. Funny enough, it's going to be greater than. Why? Because my y is still at this point. If I add this to this place, it becomes minus 25 minus 15x. Dividing by 5 becomes what? Greater than. So if it is greater than, this is the greater part here. It is increasing to the right. It's increasing to what? To the right. Now in most questions, after plotting the graph, they always put the linear equation at the other side. How do I mean? Since this is less than, this is less than, I'm going to now put what? My y in this form up here. And y is less than what? 6 over 3, which is 2 minus what? 2x over 3. Since this is greater than, in this case, my y was greater than what? This, greater than or equals to this. I'll put it at the other side, which is at this part. You can put it anywhere here. That becomes what? Y is greater than or equals to what? 12 over 4 here is 3. That becomes 3 plus what? 3x over 4. And finally, since this is what? Greater than also, what happens? I'll put my solution of y at this other side. So when you solve for this, making y solve the formula, what happens? Put it at this side of your graph.